morning, this is Amy with AmyCommonSenseSouthern.com. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I upload 2 to 3 times a week, so go ahead and click that subscribe button and the notification bell so you won't miss a thing. Today I wanted to talk to you about things I wish I knew before starting Weight Watchers, and some of these things might apply to just any weight loss program in general, but some of it is specific to Weight Watchers, so I'm not going to separate that. I'm also combining this with what I eat in a day. So here we are on a beautiful Monday morning. I think it's a lot prettier out here than I thought it was going to be. The weather's a little bit nicer. I kind of wish I'd grabbed my sunglasses on the way out the door. I left them on the counter, but oh well, that's okay. Or maybe I'll get surprised when I get to work and find them in my purse. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So starting off with what I eat in a day, so far I have a banana that I'm going to eat when I get to work, and this baggie of almonds. That's a 1/4 cup of almonds in that baggie, and I'll have to check. I think that's like 4, maybe 5 points. I'll put that in my tracker and update you later today. What I'm eating for breakfast today kind of plays into thing number one that I wish I knew before starting Weight Watchers, and that number one thing is plan. Now I know that sounds really basic, like duh, plan, but I mean, it really is true. I mean, here I am into my journey, having had to set the reset button. I think I may have mentioned that to you before. And I'm setting the reset button and remembering that big time. And it's something that probably, even though I am so close to goal, like 3 pounds from being back to where my goal weight was, and then I'll have to decide whether I want to change that goal and push it any further south. But I'm okay at being 3 pounds away from that goal and getting there. But even still so close to goal and hitting the reset button, you would think that I would have remembered this from before. But here I am. It's not like I didn't have all weekend to get ready for the upcoming week, and I'm grabbing a banana and a baggie of almonds off the shelf because I did not take the time to meal prep breakfast or make a smoothie this morning. If I had made a smoothie, it would have been just fine. Thing number one, to be successful on Weight Watchers, you really need to plan, because what happens to me, and it's not going to happen today because I did actually pack a lunch, but what happens to me, and I know that I do this, is I don't get my act together to eat breakfast, then I'm starving at lunch, I didn't pack lunch, and then I do something really stupid at lunch. So I just know my patterns, I know how I am. And so I know that even if I don't get my act together on breakfast and get that eaten, I need to definitely deal with lunch. So be a planner. There is another YouTuber, Joan's Pointed Plate, and she emailed me a meal planner. So I definitely recommend that you go over to her channel and take a look at the meal planner she uses. Even before, when I was on Weight Watchers, I did not use any kind of a meal planner like that, and I wish I had, and I'm going to very soon implement hers. So I'll link to her below, and she shows how she uses that meal planner. So thing number one, plan. Thing number two is Weight Watchers may change the plan on you. Yeah, so, but the thing to know is that is not going to derail you. Don't let it derail you. So the very first time I ever went with Weight Watchers was back in 2009, and I lost about 10 pounds on it. And I will also say that I only ever did online. I've never done meetings or studio, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's just with the time commitments for my job, I have a really hard time committing to anything regular outside my job other than going to church. So that's like the only thing I want to commit to outside going to work. So I never have done meetings or studio. I've always done the online Weight Watchers. And back in 2009, I did it, lost about 10 pounds. And then a bunch of things happened with life, my mother's health, just some other things like that. And I just didn't stick with it. And then I started back again in, I think, 2015. So I started back with Weight Watchers in 2015. And that's when I was successful and lost the 60 pounds. Whenever I talk about I lost 60 pounds and did this and I lost 60 pounds and did that, that's when I lost the 60 pounds. So that was back in 2015. And right before the holidays, they completely changed the program. And I was devastated because I'd been planning a trip to Miami. I had everything all down pat in my brain about what I was going to eat, what I was going to avoid. I could look at a buffet table for any kind of holiday party, and I could tell you, I knew my points so well, I could just tell you exactly what anything was going to cost in points without even having to consult an app, because you go to a party or something, you don't know what's going to be there. You don't know what's going to be there to eat, so it's kind of hard to plan that totally. But if you just know your points, you can look at a table and make decisions pretty quickly. That was completely out the door, and I freaked out, and I was all upset with Weight Watchers, and I'd been losing, and things were going great. I think I had started out at like 192 pounds, and by right before the holidays, I was down into like the 150s, and I was feeling really great about my progress. And I thought, okay, they completely changed the plan on me. It's going to derail everything. It didn't. It didn't. I just adapted to it. I think back at that time, and I can't remember if they moved to Smart Points or they were still on Points Plus when they made that big change. But it didn't change anything. I think the points for dairy went up a little bit, protein went down, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't freestyle. And so I just adapted to the new plan and things were fine. Well, this last time that I've gone with Weight Watchers, they had gone to freestyle and some things had changed, like corn, now 0 points, beans, now 0 points. I've adapted to this time and I'm losing weight again. So the thing is, I wish I had known that Weight Watchers may change the plan on you, but you will be okay. You will lose the weight. You will be just fine. Trust the process. As I say at work, trust the process and it will work out okay. So thing number 2 to know, Weight Watchers may change the plan on you, but you will be okay. Do not panic. Trust the process. They know what they're doing. They've been doing this for years. You will be successful. You will be just fine. Well, I'm going to concentrate on getting on down the road to work today. I will update you later with my lunch and tell you more about things I wish I knew before I started Weight Watchers or any weight loss journey later today. Bye-bye.
I went back and checked the almonds that I had for my breakfast. That quarter cup of almonds did count 5 Smart Points. For lunch, you're seeing a container of Roots Original Hummus that's made in Asheville, North Carolina. I normally don't like cumin in my hummus, but I do make an exception for this. It is that good. It's just something about the texture of this hummus that I like. That's an 8-ounce container. I had 4 ounces remaining, so I count that as 7 Smart Points. You're also seeing some Mott's unsweetened applesauce, 2 clementines, a baggie of carrot chips, and water. Those are all 0 Smart Points foods. What you're not seeing is that I had a bag of the Ruffles baked cheddar cheese sour cream chips between lunch and going home, and those were 4 Smart Points. So between lunch and my snack afterward, that was 11 Smart Points.
Tip 3 is losing weight, as you know, can sometimes be a little bit expensive. But people think that, and they're thinking in terms of the food, that you're going to be eating healthier and it's going to cost you more. And that's not necessarily the case. There are tons of videos here on YouTube about being on Weight Watchers on a budget and how you can do all that. What I found expensive is that once you really start losing, that you are going to be paying more for clothing. So what happens is you end up buying for different sizes. So I went from like a size extra large down to a medium small in some things. I went from like a size 18 pants getting snug down to a size 6. And so that gets expensive when you're having to buy progressively down for each size. Well, you might have some important life events. You might have some job interviews, or you might have different things you want to do that you want to look nice, and so you don't necessarily want to wait until you lose all your weight that you wanted to lose to get into those clothes, because you want to feel good about where you are at every stage. To go shopping at the thrift stores, go to Goodwill, some of the discount stores became my best friends that honestly I never paid any attention to before I started losing a lot of weight and needing a new wardrobe. And then I started looking around at some of those places. They just hadn't been on my radar screen before. And it's not that I really should have been shopping at those stores all along, budget wise, to be honest with you. It's not that I didn't really need stores like that. I did. It just had never been on my radar, those particular stores. It caused me to have to shake up my style a little bit. And the other piece to this with the clothing is that you are probably going to have to learn to redress again. You know, in the time when I was heavier and I was basically just buying clothing to fit me, fashion changed. And so I had to get with that. And so I almost had to learn to refine my style, learn to redress myself to a certain extent when I lost some weight, because I thought, I don't even know what to wear. I've gotten down to a size where I can pretty much wear whatever I want to. And I mean, that's kind of a good problem, but at the same time, you don't even know what to try on. You don't know what sizes to try. You don't know what styles work for you. So you're going to probably have to refine your style again. And that sounds like a very good problem to have. It sounds like a fun thing to get into and tackle, but it was expensive and it was overwhelming. And so just be prepared for that. Find a girlfriend that you trust her opinion and go shopping with her. And that really helped me a lot. Another thing that I wish I knew when I started my journey was that really nice, well-meaning people are going to say things to you that might hurt your feelings a little bit. What I'm talking about here is when people say things to you like, oh, you look amazing. You look you look so much better. Okay, but better than what? The terrible person I looked like before? I mean, I never thought that I looked terrible even when I was heavier. I mean, naturally I thought it would be fun to be thinner. I'd feel good, but a lot of my weight loss journey, and I'll get into this in a completely different video, had to do with my health. I was concerned for my health. I did not feel good. I hurt in places I knew I was too young to be hurting. And so it wasn't all about the looks, but when people start showering you with these compliments, you're thinking, I mean, what did I look like before? What are you trying to say? And I think I was being overly sensitive. Maybe not. But regardless, just be prepared that people may say things that hurt a little bit when they don't necessarily mean to. So try not to wear your feelings on your sleeve, and try to know that people are just trying to be nice. I mean, maybe someone out there might make a sideways comment to you, maybe one of those backhanded compliments. If that's the case, recognize it for what it is and just consider the source and move on. The last tip I have for you on things that I wish I knew before starting my Weight Watchers weight loss journey is that I cannot tell you how important it is to find some kind of exercise that you love, but you don't have to find it on day one. So, you know, at 5'2" and 192 pounds, I had a lot of changes that I needed to make to get on track, and finding some kind of exercise was definitely part of that. But I think when you try to change everything in your life all at one time, it can be a little bit overwhelming. After I made some changes with what I was eating and drinking, then I saw a little bit of a weight loss that motivated me to want to work out. And so you're going to have to find something that works for you and that you like. I know running is a thing that some people really enjoy, but if you don't like running, if you don't want to be a runner, don't feel pressured to do any particular kind of exercise, because that's what anybody else does. Don't go out and buy a treadmill and set it up in your house because you think this is what people who are healthy do if you're never going to get on that treadmill. I really hate treadmills. I do not like getting on a treadmill at all. I don't find anything enjoyable about it. I like an exercise bike a little bit more than a treadmill. What I found out that I really liked was yoga. So I had a friend that invited me to yoga, and it was about that time that I was trying to think, you know, what's some kind of exercise that I can get into that I will like. And I absolutely loved yoga. I remember thinking, oh, I mean, how hard can this be? I mean, hey, I don't want to run, so I'm going to be sitting on a mat. I'm just going to be doing stuff on a mat. It's not like somebody's asking me to run. How hard could this be? Yoga is not easy. Yoga is a total body workout. It's not just stretching. It's strength training. It can be strength training using your own body and your own body weight and holding those poses, which is not the easiest thing in the world, but it was so much fun, so enjoyable, so relaxing. And I remember the friend that got me to go to my very first yoga class, I texted her the next day and said, I'm a die, because I was so sore in places I didn't even know I had, muscles I didn't even know I had on my body. So my point in that is it is so important to find something you like to do for exercise, but it does not have to be from day one. You need to move. no doubt, I'm not giving you an excuse not to exercise. I'm just saying, if it's going to overwhelm you to make all of these changes at one time, at least start with the changing the how you eat part. I think seeing some losses there will really motivate you to want to find that form of exercise that really works for you and that you like. So anyway, those are my 5 things I wish I knew when I started a weight loss journey. I hope it helps. Stick with me, and I'm going to show you a picture of my dinner and talk to you a little bit about that.
The last meal of the day was, of course, dinner, and I'm showing you 3 ounces of cod that I sprinkled with the Trader Joe's everything but the bagel seasoning, and that was 0 smart points. And then in about a tablespoon of olive oil, I sautéed some fresh corn that I had cut off the cob with some spinach, a little bit of garlic powder, and some smoked sun-dried tomatoes. Those are so yummy. All of that was 0 smart points except for the olive oil. Because I was splitting this portion with my husband, I am only counting a half tablespoon for 2 smart points in olive oil. So all in all, that was a 2-point dinner. So just to recap my day, 5 points for the almonds in my breakfast. My lunch was 11 points for those Ruffles chips and the 4 ounces of Roots hummus, carrot chips, clementines, and the water. So that means that I actually had 5 points remaining for the day. I was happy with that. I did not feel like eating anything else. I was tired. So I hope you enjoyed what I eat in a day, and also what I wish I had known before starting my WW Weight Watchers weight loss journey or any other weight loss journey. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.